started to install these load adjustable shocks on my 2007 Dodge Ram 1500. It has the 5.7, but that really doesn't matter given that these are shocks that have nothing to do with the engine. And I've had a Dodge Ram 1500 in the past, and I used these exact same ones, and they were fabulous. When you're driving and you can just feel your rear end kind of bumping around, you hit a bump and, it kind of affects your steering a bit. That's the problem I'm having on this one as well. And when I changed these last time on my previous Dodge Ram, it did a great job of making sure those rear wheels stuck to the ground. The ride comfort was pretty good. If memory serves me correctly, it did sit a little bit higher in the rear as a result of these, but I'm going to measure the before and after just to see if that was just my imagination or if it was a reality. So I ordered these off of Amazon. I'll put the link into the comment section down there. Paid $100 for them. I had no issues with them before, especially if you're towing something, you're putting something back there with some weight. These are great too to have on the rear of your Dodge Ram. So before installing them, I thought I'll just do the open box and let you guys see what we have over here. All right. Let's see here. All out. So there's two in here for a total of $100. This is them right here. So you got the load adjustable spring on there. You got the ends down here. You can see what those look like. And also down here as well. Not too much to say about them, just to say they seem to be made pretty well. I had no issues with them before. I feel comfortable putting them on this 2007 Dodge Ram. The other one I think was a 2006 or 2005 Dodge Ram, so no big difference there. Pretty easy install. I think I may need to jack up one side just to make it easier to take them on and off, but I don't need to take the tires off to do this. I may need to drop down the spare. Last time I had to cut the spare off because we're in Wisconsin, the Rust Belt, so it was pretty much teased up on there, the cable that lowers it, so I had to cut the cable to drop that off of there. I'm going to see if I can change these this time without even removing the spare tire. We'll see, but you guys will be right there with me. Stay tuned. Alright, so now we're out at the truck, and I told you I was going to measure the height before putting this the shocks on, and then measure after. So I'm going to do the before measurement. And I have my measuring stick here, or tape, and just getting it all set up, just to get an approximation of where it should be or where it is. Alright, there we go. Alright, so where it stands now is at, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's at about 40.25, alright, inches. And so let's get started on that. Alright, underneath the truck, this right here is the passenger side shock. The shock is orientated towards the front, so it's going to be easy to get to that bolt up top, and of course very easy to get to the bolt at the bottom. Now the one on the driver's side is orientated towards the rear. The bottom one, easy to get to. The top one, a little bit more difficult with the tire up here. I can't find the kit to get the tire down, so I'm going to see if I can get to that bolt and get it off without taking the tire down. But what I'm going to start off doing first is, again, I'm here in Wisconsin, so we are the Rust Belt, as you can see. So I'm going to first clean these off right here, clean all these threads. That will make it much easier for the nut to come off. So I'm going to clean those off and then hose them down with a bit of PB Blast, and then we'll start working these off. So I'll do this part and come back to you guys. All right, so I don't have the tool to load a tire, and I think I need to load a tire. So I'm taking my extension with a 9/16 bit on here. So I got my extension, and I'm going to insert it in through the hole in the back here to get to it. And the connection isn't straight back as you may think it is. It's actually on an angle. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm going in at an angle to get onto it. And wait a minute. It's nothing big, just gotta hit it just right. I'll get it. There we go. All right, so got that. And now I should be able to start, if it goes right, lowering the tire. And I don't know if this thing's ever been lowered, so maybe, hopefully it's not rusted up there, but I'll let you guys know if I'm successful. All right, so it's actually working. It's working no problem, but the difference is the 9/16 was just too big slightly, so I went with a 14mm, and that was spot on. Just perfect for it. So a 14mm socket is what you can use, and to start lowering your tire. All right. All right, so I got it down, and I had ran into another issue while I was doing it, is that I was letting down the cable. The cable was coming through no problem, but this part right here, so it goes all the way through and comes out to the other side. So it was coming through and coming out no problem. The slack was there, but the tire wouldn't come down for any reason. Couldn't it come down. I thought maybe it was a secondary latch or something. But this part right here was seized up inside of here in this tube. So this was essentially holding it up. So I had to take my pry bar and hammer and just and work on it, and eventually it released. So I'm gonna put some anti-seize up in there before I put it back up. And so there is the socket coming through, attaching to it right here, and that is what allows this to rotate down. All right, so now we can finally start removing these shocks. All right, so first we're going to work on the passenger side, simply because I already got that side jacked up. And I'm using the tools I have. I have a 13/16, and I have a, what is this? A 22mm. So I'm going to use that to help me get this off over here. I'll put that over there, because I'm going to attempt to use my Harbor Freight impact. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So we'll see, and then I'll put the socket on this side, and given that the rotation will be counterclockwise, that means this will go, I should put this here, so when it goes, it can hit up against this up here. So I'm gonna need both hands for that, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. All right, so my impact will bump up against the part of the drivetrain over here, the pumpkin back here. So even though this is an impact rated swivel to allow for me to tilt my impact down, I'm gonna give it a try. And I hope it doesn't bust it all up. All right. Woo, that was something. All right, so I know it's holding up a little bit, so I just gotta keep it on there good. And I think I was pushing forward by mistake on my impact. So. Nope, it's not doing a thing. So It's going to have to be manual power. Sometimes it's like that. I have to get my cheater bar out too. So oh, that's not bad. I don't know what to say. That impact is weak, but that wasn't bad at all, actually. Yeah, as you can see, that's not that bad. Put this back on and see how it behaves. Yep, that's not bad at all. This impact shouldn't have had that much of a problem. But that's Harbor Freight sometimes. Sometimes those cheap tools are good, and sometimes they're not. So, as you can see, yep, it's coming out no problem. And I won't take it out all the way. I'm going to keep it locked up in here because I don't want this the shock to swing around while I'm trying to get the one at the top off. Alright, so much rust on that nut that it almost don't recognize the size of the wrench that I have. But got it on there. This is where my cheater bar would definitely come in handy. I'm going to switch up the wrenches because I have one with a larger handle, longer handle that is, that works as my cheater bar. There we go. See them there. So now that I've got it free, now I need to put something on that side. I can't put a wrench on that side because it's recessed back in there. So I'm going to have to get a comparable size socket and get that on. Alright, so I got the bolts off both ends. So now we can go along the path of removing this shock so we can put the new one on. I think I'm going to use a good amount of PB Blast in order to I forgot my hammer out there, so I'll use this a little bit. Don't do this to your tools, by the way. Yep, that one came. Then all right. So by using ample amount of anti-seize on my bolts when I put it back in there. Just getting that top bolt out now. That one was a pain to get out, by the way. Now you see it, notice on here, the shaft is behind here and the body is down here. On here the spring is going to be down here, okay? So we're going to do the spring on the bottom side. All right, got that out. There we go. Lift that out. And here we go. First one out, and we can put the new one in. Right, here's the old versus the new, and I stated that wrong earlier. Actually, this will be the bottom, and this will go near the bed, near the top. Okay, so this is the top connection. You got your shaft, And down here, where you got your fat end down here, this will be the bottom, okay? So old versus new. All right, like I said, I'm going to use a lot of NECs. So I'm about to put some on now. I'm going to put some directly into the holes, thinking about the future owner of this, whoever owns it after I one day sell it. And they need to change the shocks, make it so it's not a big issue for them. And also, besides for that, I want to put some on the bolts themselves too as well. And it's equally important to put some on the exposed part of the bolt as much as what will be inside of there as well. You don't want to get seized inside of the shock, the brackets for there, but you also want to make sure that it's not so much rust don't build up on the threads that you can't even get the nut off. So, and this stuff is potent, boy, as far as getting it all on everything that you touch. So be careful with it. All right, let's get this new one in. Should be pretty straightforward. Turning it a bit. So, yep, pretty straightforward. So don't fret none. You guys should be all right. Bottom bolt in. Now put the top bolt in. I got pieces of gravel on there, so I want to get that off of there. All right. Go. My phone is covered with this NEC as well now. Oops. Try to find the hole. There we go. Go, bolt in. So now I just have to put the nuts on and torque it down, and we'll be all right to move on to the other side. All right, now it's time to move from the passenger side, and we're going to move on over to the driver's side. All right, so we're on the driver's side. And well, the driver's side is definitely easier to do than the passenger side. So you can fast forward past this part if you want. I'm not sure how much I'll show, since it's not really so necessary, given that it's just taking two bolts out, really, when you think about it. So that's about ready. And remember, I'll leave the bolts in until I have a chance to loosen up the top one. So, alright, got the NTCs on. So Ready to put the new one in. And of course, fat end at the bottom. There we go. Now slip the bolts in. And I'll put the one in at the top. Flathead screwdriver to help line it up for you. Alright, I'm back. So I'm just going to take a screwdriver, flathead, doesn't matter, it's a Phillips, but I just want to use that to help line up the hole for me. Try it from this side. Slightly off. Get my hammer. Tap it in. Right, screwdriver, oh, there we go. Push that down. Maybe I think that will take you out. Maybe that will allow for me to get you in. So I'm gonna put the top one in first. Much easier. So, and then I'm gonna put the bottom one in, because then I can pull up on it to get it in there. Yeah, so do the top one first. Much easier. So I'm putting my screwdriver in there now from the other side, just to lift it up just enough to do that final alignment to get my bolt in there. There we go. Now I can put it on there. There we go. So now I'll put the nuts on and we'll drop her down. All right, now with both new shocks on, now I'm putting the spare tire back up in place. All right, now with the new shocks on, told you we'll come back and double check to see where does everything stand as far as the overall height with these on. So let's take a look and see. Before it was 40.25, and now it's reflecting at, where are you? There we go, 41. So 3/4 of an inch higher. But remember, we just put them on, they haven't settled. So I suspect after they settle, probably even after that first ride, we'll probably be back down around that 40.25. All right, so hopefully you guys like what you saw. If you did, hit the like button and also subscribe too. I have other how-to videos on the Dodge Ram and other vehicles of mine that I work on. Thanks a lot, guys.